International dignitaries join Israelis at Ariel Sharon's state funeral. Our Knesset correspondent reports from Jerusalem on the funeral speeches. The interim nuclear deal between Iran and the world powers is set for January 20th, and Scarlett Johansson becomes the spokesperson of SodaStream. Shalom, welcome to the Jerusalem Post News, our top stories from Monday, January 13th. Following tens of thousands of Israelis who filed past his casket to pay their respects yesterday, the state funeral for Israel's 11th Prime Minister, Ariel Sharon, took place this morning at the Knesset. President Shimon Peres, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair and US Vice President Joe Biden were among those who addressed the memorial crowd.
The security of his people was always Arik's unwavering mission. But there were times when he acted, and those actions earned him controversy and even condemnation. From my observation, he was a complex man, but to understand him better, I think it's important. History will judge. He also lived in complex times in a very complex neighborhood.
He had the toughness of mind to despise all illusions about the threats facing Israel. He did not pursue peace as a dreamer, but he did dream of peace and an end to war.
President Shimon Peres said in his address that Sharon had been the shoulder on whom Israel's security rested. Sharon was laid to rest near his family ranch in the Negev this afternoon in a military ceremony that attracted tens of thousands of mourners from across the political spectrum. Massive screens with coverage of the funeral were placed a distance away from the gravesite to enable the crowds to watch. Our Knesset correspondent Lahav Harkov was at the funeral this morning. She has this report.
There were touching speeches by President Shimon Peres, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the Speaker of the Knesset, Yuli Edelstein, all focusing on different aspects of his personality. There were also very personal stories coming from former Prime Minister of Great Britain, Tony Blair, and Vice President Joe Biden, who both had a lot of experience with Sharon as Prime Minister, and Biden actually knew Sharon in different ministerial positions when Biden was a senator. And they both told really personal, touching stories that talked about sort of Sharon's strong personality, his experience in the IDF, and his dedication to Israel's security. I'm here in front of the Knesset with National Infrastructure, Water and Energy Minister Silvan Shalom, who was both Finance Minister and Foreign Minister and Deputy Prime Minister under Ariel Sharon when he was Prime Minister.
He will be remembered always as one of the founders that brought Israel to the place that we are here today. He did everything he can in order to fight terrorism. He didn't want to meet Arafat even once. He did everything he can in order to bring the safety back after the second Intifada, and he succeeded to do it by fighting the terrorists in their homes, in their cities, to build the security fence. He absorbed 1 million new immigrants to Israel as the Minister of Housing. He did everything he can in order to make it possible for them to get an apartment or a house. He built all the settlements. And when he decided to disengage, he did it unilaterally because he said that he cannot talk to Arafat, he cannot speak with Arafat. And I'm always thinking what would happen today if we would know that there are so many missiles from Gaza toward Israel.
The interim nuclear deal previously secured between Iran and the P5+1 world powers in Geneva and intended to pave the way towards a final agreement to a long international standoff over Tehran's nuclear ambitions will come into force on January 20th. The interim joint plan of action will allow Iran to continue research and development on nuclear centrifuge technology in the meantime, senior US officials said on Sunday. US President Obama has said other nations will begin to give Iran modest relief on economic sanctions as long as the Iranians uphold their end of the deal. An environmentally aware Scarlett Johansson has been chosen to be the official spokesperson for Israeli company SodaStream and will star in the company's Super Bowl ad to be aired early in February. The Jewish-American actress says the SodaStream, which makes regular drinks fizzy, is a favorite product of hers and that she's been using it for many years. Johansson said, "The company's commitment to a healthy body and healthier world is perfect for me." That's it, and we're back tomorrow with more main headlines. Until then, shalom from the Jerusalem Post studio.